All right, here we go. So I like the fact that you, and I do want to say allow your teachers to actually move on to pursue their passions, because I know two reasons why teachers are afraid to leave. One, they feel like they're failing the kids, right? Like, especially in urban settings, they're like, everybody always leaves. I don't want to be the one that leaves the kids, you know, so they stay for guilt.
Yes.
And then also, their principals are like, wait, you leaving? I'm not going to approve that. Or they feel like they're going to block them. Or some principals do, you know,
Yeah.
block them from leaving or make them feel guilty for leaving. It's like, wait a minute, you were a teacher and you got here. How come you can leave and I can't leave? So I appreciate the fact that you are valuing, as you said, helping teachers stand in their value and leave those fears behind. That I applaud you for that, because that's not what everybody does.
Right. And you know, like when I talk to teachers, because guilt is a big portion of everything, whether it's teaching, life, whatever. And I share with teachers and just women in general, you know, as we go through a flurry of emotions, guilt is one that you should not be experiencing. Guilt did not come from God. Like, show me an instance where God displayed guilt or shame.
You're right.
It didn't come from God. That's man-made. And that's people who want to keep you in that box and they make you feel guilty. But when you have that mindset built up that I have to take care of me first, and I'm saying no to you in order to say yes to me, you won't feel that guilt. And so again, that was part of the work that I had to do, because I would say yes when I really meant no. And then I would feel bad afterwards, or I'd be super tired because I just did 20 things when I only had energy for 2.
That's right. And somebody said, no is a complete sentence.
Absolutely.
That. No is a complete sentence. I don't need to tell you why. I don't need to explain it to you. And like you said, you know, a man will just be like, no.
Absolutely.
And we're like, well, no, because, you know, like we have to validate our no.
Exactly. And validation is for parking, not for people.
I just dropping gems. Stand in your value. Guilt did not come from God. You have to take care of yourself first. And say that one more time. Parking is what?
Validation is for parking, not for people.
Validation is for parking. My sister makes shirts. I'm about to, all right, about to make you a shirt. Validation is for parking. I love it. Yes. Yes, I love it. So tell us a little bit more about your program. What does your program entail? How long is the course?
So I've been working to really get the program to a really great spot. So when I first started out, it was taking me about a year to help other women move on. Now, keep in mind, it took me 3 years to get it all together and to move on and to actually get to 6 figures. And so I was working while I was still in school, working in the classroom. And so now I'm at 6 months, and I've had several women go through the course. They're able to do it in 6 months, simply because now we categorize it into 3 categories. We get you business ready. In the first 30 days, you're going to get your business totally set up. It's going to be set up appropriately. And we're also going to help you to get business credit, because that's one of the things that we often will overlook. We want to try to do everything ourselves. And so the business credit is what's going to help you fund your business when it's time to market. So then after we're business ready, and during the 6 months, we're also building the business credit, because you got to go through tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So by the time it's time for you to launch your program, when it's time to run that marketing campaign, because remember, we're teachers, we don't have a lot of money.
Right.
And so you're going to put that campaign on that MasterCard or that Visa card that's for the business, which is totally different from personal credit, has nothing to do with personal credit. It's a business credit. It comes out of a different bucket, uses your EIN number. And so you build that up. And so you put that marketing campaign on your business credit card. And then once you get your first client, you pay off that credit card.
Okay.
So those are things that I teach you all throughout the course. Then the next 6 to 12 weeks, we're working on getting you product ready. That's where you're going to actually build your product. And we're not talking about hypothesizing or, you know, talking through a product. We're actually building the product. So if you say you want to do a coaching program. So for instance, I just talked to a lady who wants to do a mentoring program for teachers. And so if she were in the program, she would actually put together her learning modules, her PD work sessions, her workbook, everything. And so there are a lot of things that teachers wouldn't know, like you wouldn't know unless you're in the business. And people who try to do it on their own, they waste a lot of money buying stuff and doing subscriptions and doing things because they think that's what they should be doing.
Right.
But I show them how to outsource some things, how to do things in an economical way where it looks very professional. And also while you're making that transition from employee to self-employed to business owner to CEO, because the goal is if you're going to have a 6-figure business, you can do it as a one person. I did it my first year or two. It was just me and I was still able to make 6 figures. But in order to grow the business, you can't keep working in the business.
Okay.
And so showing them how to utilize automation, how to have a time-rich business where a lot of times when you have consultants, if they don't work, they don't eat. So if you miss a day at work, you're not getting paid for it.
Right.
That is no way to live. That's no way to live. You can make really good money doing it, but you better not get sick. You better not need to miss a day.
That's
because your paycheck is going to change. And so I show them how to set their business up, and we put it together, and that's in that 6 to 12 weeks. And then in the next 6 weeks, we work on their market strategy. And that's where we work on their content strategy, the growth strategy, and the monetization strategy. And during that time, they have a full marketing plan. If they're going to do an email campaign, if they're going to do marketing of ads, whatever it is that's more appropriate for their business. But most of all, it's going to target their audience because everybody isn't your customer.
Right.
And so I think that's what really, the marketing part definitely hinders teachers. Educators will often think, I can put this together because I know curriculum and instruction. But when you put it together, you don't know what to do with it. And you put it together because you were thinking like students in your classroom when you did not address adult learning theory. And so I work through all of that with them through multiple platforms, and I allow them to see how you can run your business. I've worked for major businesses doing PD for them, and I studied their program. So like I did work for Discovery Education. I've done work for Bloomboard. Those are major education businesses that do PD, that do coaching, that do consulting. And I looked at how did they set this up? What were the structures? How did they become multi-million and billion-dollar businesses? And can it be scaled down to smaller businesses in order to later be scaled back up? And so that's the premises of where I got my model from.
Okay. So, and that's why I just turned my page because I had my questions written down. So let's go back to the business credit. So even if I have bad credit, because I know a lot of people don't know this, I can still get business credit even if my
absolutely
credit score is low.
Yeah, because your business credit they don't even run your social security number. But again, that business has to be set up appropriately, and it's a process. See, a lot of people want to skip the process and just do things all willy-nilly, and that won't get you the result that you're looking for. So you have to follow the system. And one of the things that I talk to my clients about is, and I use a great analogy of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the coach of the New England Patriots. And love them or hate them, because people either love the New England Patriots or they hate them. But what you cannot deny is they're the winningest team in football. And they're not the winningest team because they're the winningest team. They're the winningest team because Bill Belichick is the winningest coach. Everyone knows if you go to New England Patriots to play, you're going to be a part of their system. If you're not willing to be a part of their system, you need to leave the team, and you will leave the team because he has a system of offense and defense that has worked for 20 years.
Right.
And he's not changing it until the data shows that it doesn't work. He'll tweak it for a particular opponent, but other than that, he doesn't care how good your arm is, how fancy your running is, how you can spin around and do 16 flips over people. You're going to follow this system or get off our team. And that's why they continue to win, because they have a system. There's a system to success. And when people come and they are not accustomed to following the format, and you can tweak it a bit to fit your personality, to fit your flair, but you know, it's just like when Siri's talking to you. If she told you to go straight and you make a left, you're not going to make it to your destination at the time that she said you were going to make it.
Right.
And so it is a system. And so with business credit, you will hear people saying how it didn't work for them. Yeah, because you went out, you got your business set up and went and applied for a Walmart credit card for your business, and you didn't have tier 1 credit. So there is a definite system. And if you follow the system, they don't care what race you are. None of that matters. All they care is, do you have this? And if you can mark that check, they're going to give it to you. Next time, do you have this and this? Check. We're going to give it to them. So it's a system.
Okay. So then after about 6 months, and then they do the launch, do you guys have a conversation afterwards? Like, do they get to come back to you to, you know, tweak some things?
Well, they will continue to be in my private Facebook page.
Okay.
So I have a regular Facebook page, and then I have a private Facebook page. So they will continue to be in the private Facebook group where they can still continue to ask questions and to, you know, share things with me. And in that community, those are nothing but educators who are also building 6-figure businesses. So they have a great community and network of other women who will answer the questions. I'll chime in, and they have continued support.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like a really good program. You have taught us how to, you know, face our fears, and you have the 6-month plan. I'm also like that, you know, like, no, this is not get rich quick. You know, you have to put in the work, and you have to, there are steps, and there's a formula, and that is a real coach, you know, because, you know, it's like you got Michael Jordan, or you have, you know, obviously I don't watch basketball now, but you know, you have Kobe and you have LeBron James and all those people, but you know, what makes this good? You know what I mean? How come everybody can leave Bill Belichick's program? It doesn't matter who he has. He's got it, right? It doesn't matter. He don't always have the best football players. Sometimes he does, but he does it time and time again, no matter what. Yes, because so you know that makes a whole lot of sense. So if, you know, people are ready to join or they would like to work with you, what are the next steps?
They can join my Facebook page, Educators Moving On Network. And on that page, they can set up a strategy session with me. And like I said, I don't take everyone, because I need women who are highly talented, ambitious, who are willing to do the work. There are some people who have dreams, but they're not willing to do the work. They think that, you know, just because I showed up, it's going to happen. And so I have a conversation with them. The strategy session is totally free. We talk about the business goals, what they're trying to do, how much work they're willing to put in, and you know whether or not you're a match for someone. So if we feel like we're a match for one another, then I will make a recommendation for one of my programs. And if we're not, then I might make a recommendation for a book that they might need to read, or for a different program with some other colleagues who I know, or it might be a recommendation. Like I was talking to one lady, she just wanted to leave the classroom. She didn't necessarily want to do the work of building a business. Oh, well, let me share with you these 4 companies who are hiring educators, and they will pay you really good money to go into schools and to do work. And it's not sales, because, you know, educators don't like sales. And so,
which is my problem with getting it off the ground. I have no clue what you mean. People just like me. I just step in the, you know, and especially now because we've been teaching for so long, we don't even know how we got to where we are. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We just do it. It just is. And so,
and let me turn my light on one second.
That marketing plan, it's like, I don't know how to market myself because I just do what I do. And people see it, like you said, and they're like, oh, well, we need you to do this. Or we need, and I'm like, wait, I was cool right here in my lane. And you picking me, look, okay, fine. Okay, fine. But we don't know how we got there. And I think, you know, I know that's where, again, you know, your coaching, even coaches, even the best of us need someone to help pull us out. You said you had a mentor that helped you with, you know, changing your mindset and things like that. Even though you were helping other people and you do it for other people, it is super hard for you to do it for yourself. So you need someone else to, you know, help you get outside yourself and stand in your ground.
And even now, I still have a business coach. I have a business coach because everybody needs a coach. You know, when you are in this thing and you're doing it, there are so many things that you can't see, you're blinded by so much. And that coach really gives you the ability to see outside of yourself and to grow your potential. So I recommend that everybody have a coach. I don't know anybody who was really great at something who didn't have a coach.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And then I also like the fact that you said, and you're going to hear the train in the background of my house. I also like the fact that you said, I don't take everybody, right? Because some people are money hungry.
Right.
Another that shows your integrity.
Absolutely.
Because being a consultant and being your own business, you know, you're right. You don't know whether you could say, nah, I don't want you, Angela. But then the next person may say, well, nah, I don't want you. And you don't have any money. And so a lot of people just take. Oh, yep, I take on everybody just to fill their budget, you know, just because they have a quota.
Right.
Where you're like, no, we got to make sure
because it creates a headache.
It does.
You take on people, who are not a match. And then they, you know, because it didn't go the way they expected it to go, then your name is bad because they're going to badmouth you when really it was them not wanting to do the work or they didn't follow through. And I tell my folks, tell me when was the last time you saw Bill Belichick throwing a football on the field during the game? I can't get in the game with you. You got to do the work. All I can do is coach you. So my clients have to understand that when I say you need to think about this, or here's this that you should look at, here's an idea for you, they need to explore those options and do the work. So I can't get in and do the work for them. I could, but I will wear myself out. And so that's why I'm not for everybody.
And as teachers, we should know that I can't give you the answers. I need to teach you how to think. I need to give you the tools so that eventually, you know, I'm working myself out of a job, you know, because if I keep holding your hand too much, then you're always going to need me. Right. And that might be okay. You might want to pay me that and might be able to afford that, but that's not our goal. So,
And if you think about even in the education system, a lot of times when teachers will equate their instructional coach with coaching, but most of the instructional coaches in schools are not doing true coaching. They're doing resources. They are dropping stuff off. They are going, you know, they are like the little flunky for the teachers. You have a few of them who want to be mini administrators who want to just tell you what to do. And so then people will think that's what a coach is, because I've been an educator for 20 years. And every time they said the instructional coach was coming or the reading coach was coming, all she did was came and drop off material. So then they're looking for you to just give them stuff. And that's not what true coaching is. True coaching is about self-reflection and being able to change from the inside out.
Yes.
I love that, Miss Shenelle. Tiffany, do you have any questions or anything?
No, I totally agree with what Miss Shenelle was saying, especially about educators being afraid to leave. I was kind of the opposite. I stepped out of the classroom because I felt like I wasn't being effective anymore. I felt like it was more for me to do, and I couldn't do anymore for the building that I was in. So I'm like, I gotta go and get under a new coach who's gonna push me further, because my coach at that time was like, you still new too, so you don't have the skills to push me where I need to go. So now under my new principal, I'm getting new instruction. I got new ideas. She challenges me all the time, and not in a bad way, just a challenge like, did you think about it from this way? Go back and redo it. And sometimes I don't want to, but I do, because I can honestly see the growth in myself and my profession. And it is my dream to be an administrator. So I like being pushed. It doesn't bother me. I'm not intimidated by it. I'm not bothered by somebody saying that doesn't work, or that doesn't work for me. I like hey, Miss Warden, here's the problem. Go figure it out. Great. Leave me alone. I'm gonna figure this out. I mean, that's just me. I like to do that. So I totally agree. We need coaches. We need our educators. We need our good educators like Angela to take that next step, because there are so many babies coming into education that come in with a big old dream and then get into it and be like, oh, this is not what I thought. And it's like, reading that book is not the same thing as being in this room. That book was theory. This room.
You saw that movie?
Yeah, Johnny don't act like he do in the book. And we can't send him home. And we got IEPs and 504s and all that kind of stuff. So you need somebody to come along, and especially like our new teachers, they really do. They need somebody to coddle them and help them understand that you're not a bad teacher. Education college don't prepare you for what this is.
At all.
And you only learn it by having a good coach and being in the game and running them plays. Some plays work, some plays don't.
That's right.
You'll never know. So I agree with everything you say, and I think what you're doing is wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on, Angela. Thank you, Tiffany.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
With you all.
All right. And we will put your links below so that people can definitely come find you and sign up for some courses. Sign up for coaching.
All right. Well, I would love to have a chat with them to see if we're a match and get these businesses set up.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank you all.